This right here is Quinn Hughes, a player who went from being called too small to play in the NHL.
That's a small body, gentlemen. That's a small body.
To being overshadowed by Adam Fox, Cale Makar in his first several seasons, to finally gaining some real recognition this past season, where he would take home the first Norris Trophy in Canucks franchise history.
Back to Hughes, lots of traffic in front as Quinn Hughes cuts across the high slot, now goes wide on Zetterlund. Hughes shoots, he scores! Shot there. Here's Hughes attacking from the side, he shoots, he scores! Play Besser, Hughes, one-timer, score!
Across for Hughes, firing it off the bar!
On this graphic, we have a visual on how efficient defensemen are at moving the puck 5-on-5. On the y-axis, we have possession entries, which is a stat that tracks how efficient a defenseman is in getting the puck into the offensive zone. Now, this may seem like a fairly simple concept, but in the current game, where teams constantly play trap defense, and that teams have entire defensive systems to clog up the neutral zone, indoor their blue line, to prevent puck movement, or force a dump and chase play. So if you have a player who can constantly drive the puck into the offensive zone, it'll create offense on any given shift. We're now in an offense-heavy era, so the ability to move the puck and set up offense on every shift is invaluable. On this simple play by Hughes, we can see how impactful this simple yet discreet play is. He receives the puck in the neutral zone with speed. Pause it right here. This is so subtle that you might not even notice it happening. Quinn Hughes picks up his head as if he's gonna dish the puck to Lafferty. This split-second move would cause the Nashville player to freeze, thinking he might cut to the middle or pass the puck. Hughes notices Beauvillier setting up a perfect screen. He cuts to the left with speed, and as soon as he gains entry, he passes the puck to Hoglander. But instead of curling back, he keeps skating in a straight line. Pause it right here. From a nothing play, Hughes was able to manipulate the entire Nashville defense to where Hoglander now has several options with the puck: shoot for a rebound, skate forward, try to find Lafferty backdoor, etc. Now, this may seem very underwhelming, but you have to realize that when you have a defenseman who can do this on 99% of his shifts, it then leads to sustained offensive pressure shift after shift, as most defensemen not named Makar or Hughes would force a pass in the neutral zone, or they would dump the puck in. Now, dumping the puck in is fine, it's the safe play, but most of the time, a dumped puck results in the opposition retrieving the puck, leading to them trying to do a breakout. So if you have a defenseman who can not only gain the offensive zone, but manipulate the other team's defense, leading to set plays where they now have multiple options, this will single-handedly break down the other team, leading to them being suffocated. Yes, I get in the traditional sense that you want a big-bodied defenseman who can out-muscle the opposition, but you can't tell me in today's NHL, not the 90s or early 2000s, that this skill isn't extremely important, if not just as important. Okay, so back to this graph. In the lower left side, we can see that a significant portion of all defensemen tend to struggle with offensive zone entries. Okay, in the lower right quadrant, we have possession zone exits. So think you gain possession in the defensive zone, and it tracks how efficient defensemen are at carrying the puck out of their zone. So maybe the defenseman got a takeaway leading to the puck getting out, or maybe you cleanly retrieve a dump in from the opposition. Okay, get the point here? On this play, keep in mind, the forecheckers are Barkov, who is a two-time Selke winner, and Sam Reinhart, who's received Selke votes 3 years in a row and would actually place 4th last season. And you know what? I'll just roll the clip.
Reinhart is checked by Hughes, and the puck's on his stick once again. Quinn Hughes, couple of spin moves.
With so much ease, it's like those TikTok videos where they scoop out the satisfying candy. Quinn Hughes evades both Barkov and Reinhart using his edge work. Because of his edge work, he would bait them both deep into the zone, that by the time he dishes the puck to Suter, the Canucks now have a 5-on-3 breakout. Keep in mind, this right here is a very risky play. If one of these Selke players intercepts the puck, maybe out-muscles Hughes, it's an instant goal against.
All 5 members of this power play have been on the air.
There's a turnover shorthanded. It's Winnick who scores!
Or at the very least, a prime scoring chance for the opposition. But because of his skating, Quinn Hughes does this so much, shift after shift, that when you look at this, it doesn't even seem that impressive. Okay, so back to this graphic. Naturally, most of the NHL resides in the middle of this graphic, with a bigger emphasis on defensive zone exits. Which makes sense, your defensemen get the puck out. So from this graphic, keep in mind I removed Quinn Hughes' totals this season. If you were to guess, where do you think he currently sits? Maybe upper right, around here. He's a smaller defenseman, so he may struggle with some body contact, it just makes sense. Right here is where Quinn Hughes has ranked this season. As last season, he would tie Makar's best season in this metric, but this season, Quinn Hughes is on a completely different level. In fact, nobody even comes close. Not Makar, Josi, Hedman, Adam Fox. What Quinn Hughes has been able to do in terms of puck movement, has been one of the greatest displays we've ever seen since Bobby Orr. For some more perspective, let's take a look at this mind-blowing stat. When Quinn Hughes isn't on the ice, the Canucks have below average scoring and goals against across the board, sitting around 45%, meaning that they're scoring less and letting in more goals. But when Quinn Hughes is on the ice, this number jumps to upwards of 75%, so a 30% increase. Meaning that due to his puck-moving ability, the Canucks go from being below average to dominating 75% of the game. It's insane. It's actually insane. Forget about the Norris. Quinn Hughes ranks among the top in the league in terms of leading for the Hart discussion. Now, this is where things get crazy. What if I were to tell you that this stat doesn't even compare with what I'm about to go over? Because after digging into the numbers, I would discover something shocking. Today's video is sponsored by Raycon. After wearing them every single day, value for money wise, these are hands down the best earbuds I have ever owned. Not only do they have the sound quality, the build quality of some of the biggest names in premium audio, no, Raycon starts at just half the price of the other guys. And don't just take it from me, take it from the tens of thousands of 5-star reviews online. And their latest model is better than ever with features such as active noise cancellation, 32-hour battery life, and multi-point connectivity, which lets you pair to 2 devices at once. They have a super unique design and have wireless charging capabilities. I went with the Onyx Black Raycons. They have a great finish on them, and I also picked up a concrete protective case. They're the type of headphones that you put in your ears and you just forget that they're even in. And unlike some of their competitors, if I shake my head, if I'm working out, etc., these things do not budge. So if you're looking for the perfect gift this holiday season, and go to buyraycon.com/RTH to save big for the holidays and get up to 25% off site-wide. You heard that right. These things are already very affordable, and you can get up to 25% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/RTH. So thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. One of the biggest knocks I've heard about Hughes is that, yeah, he might put up points, but due to his size and strength, his defense is, well, it's suspect. And don't get me wrong, I have definitely seen board battles where Hughes gets manhandled due to his size. When you're battling in the boards against a mutant like Brady Tkachuk, Hughes just doesn't stand a chance.
Deflected in the corner. And here comes Tkachuk.
Or does he? What if I were to tell you that Quinn Hughes, not just this season, but since 2022, has hands down been not just one of the best offensive defensemen, but two-way defensemen in the league? Even if you're a Canucks fan, you'll probably doubt this. But okay, how do we measure this? One of my favorite metrics to use is Evolving Hockey's RAPM charts, which basically measures 2 main variables. Goals for per 60, meaning how much a player contributes to goal scoring, which also breaks down into expected goals for, which tracks how much offense a player creates while on the ice. And on the opposite side, we have goals against per 60. So how often you're on the ice when the other team is scoring. And of course, expected goals against. Keep in mind, I get that some people don't love advanced analytics, and I completely agree in that they don't mean everything. But these 2 metrics aren't some arbitrary mathematical equation. No, to put it simply, it's how much offense you create and how often you get scored on. So 2 very standard metrics in the NHL. Think about it as a more comprehensive plus minus. But it adds on the factor that it can track high danger scoring chances for and against. And well, this right here is Quinn Hughes this season. For some perspective, if this bar is at the bottom line, it means that you're average in this category. If it's really below the bar, you are just a liability on the ice. But if it's far above, it means that you're elite at that stat. Meaning that by just looking at this graphic, Quinn Hughes has been dominant on both sides of the puck. But okay, looking at this alone means absolutely nothing. So let's compare Quinn Hughes' analytics from 2022 up until today to some of the best defensemen in the game. Here's his career from 2022 up until today. And here is Quinn Hughes against Cale Makar. Quinn Hughes has dominated Makar in every single category, whether it's defense or goal scoring 5-on-5. In fact, it's not even close, as Cale Makar has technically been a negative defenseman when it comes to the opposing team scoring while he's on the ice. And don't get me wrong, he's still a very special player, one of my favorite players in the league, but I find it so fascinating that just because you can lay a big hit.
Big hit by Makar on the near side as he drills Roussel down to the ice. Whoa!
People automatically associate physicality with elite defense. So who would you say is one of the best shutdown defensemen in the game, or I guess just two-way defensemen? My mind goes straight to Jaccob Slavin.
Jaccob Slavin turns off a hit thrown at him by Tom Wilson.
So here's his stats compared to Hughes. Yep, Quinn Hughes has had far more impressive stats than a player who many consider to be the best two-way defenseman in the game. So how about Chris Tanev? A player renowned for his pure shutdown ability with little to no offense. Well, Quinn Hughes has prevented far more goals than Chris Tanev. Here's Victor Hedman, who's been great offensively, but has actually been a bit of a liability on defense. Here's Josi, who has been great offensively, but average defensively. So to summarize, when it comes to defensive analytics, when we look at these comparisons, combined with that graphic I went over at the start, Hughes has technically been one of the best two-way defensemen in the entire NHL. So the fact that fans and analysts still think his defense is suspect is purely due to the fact that he's a smaller player. It's the only explanation here. So if he's undersized, how does he do it? Well, it's simple. Hughes combines hockey IQ with elite stick work and generational skating. Even if he goes out of position, he can outskate 99% of the league. Even when he gets outmuscled, he can use stick work to separate the opposition from the puck. On this play, we have 6'5" Blake Wheeler barreling down the ice against Hughes. Do you think that Quinn Hughes is gonna light up Wheeler with a massive hit like Jaccob Trouba? No. Of course not. He instead uses stick work to effortlessly strip him off the puck.
The puck out to center, onto it is Blake Wheeler. Moving it on Quinn Hughes, who did well to strip him of the puck.
Now, we're not dealing with Winnipeg 90-point Blake Wheeler, but this is still a serious size mismatch where Hughes handles it with ease. On this next play, Tampa Bay cycles the puck in deep. Instead of relying on physicality, Quinn Hughes is playing chess. He does a simple stick lift.
Radish plays it in deep again.
And strips the puck, disrupting the entire play. And you might think that this is just a couple lucky plays. No, Quinn Hughes does this every single game, which is why his defensive stats are so good.
Shoots, blocked by Hughes. He keeps his team within one, ahead to Miller, in, shoots, scores!
I can make an entire video of Hughes doing this for an hour, which brings me to my next point. On this graphic, we have the population density of North America, and as we can see, the majority of the Canadian and USA population resides in the East. This of course means that the majority of the league also resides in the East. So for some perspective here, I live in central Alberta. Canucks games start between 8 p.m. if not 8:30, and puck drop starts even later. Meaning, if hockey fans on the East Coast want to watch a Canucks game, they need to stay awake past midnight on a weekday. Now, consider this. Obviously, Quinn Hughes has many flashy highlight reel goals.
Into the Pittsburgh zone, Hughes drags left, nice move, shoots, he scores!
In this video, I haven't even shown what everyone already knows about Hughes, his ankle-breaking plays, his ability to walk the blue line.
Across the high slot, now goes wide on Zetterlund. Hughes shoots, he scores!
This video is about the fact that what makes Hughes so special are traits that are so subtle that they go undetected by the average eye. So unlike Makar, McKinnon, and McDavid, who can make several viral clips every single game, which of course puts them on more notice on the East Coast, Hughes does not. Well, sometimes he does, but most of his play goes under the radar, as not many hockey fans with kids and a job can stay up past 1 a.m. watching a Canucks game, which will naturally form an East Coast bias. This doesn't just apply to Hughes, but everyone on the west side of North America. Because going into this season, looking at the preseason award predictions, upwards of 80 to 90% of every publication I saw did not have Hughes as a Norris favorite, many of which didn't even have him in the top 3. In fact, I saw many major publications put Noah Dobson and Rasmus Dahlin ahead of Hughes. Ron McLean, the poetry guy, had Chris Letang ranked above Hughes in the Norris rankings. No disrespect to Ron McLean, you are a legend. But what I'm trying to say in this video is that the definition of what makes a defender so great in the NHL has changed. And if that means that teams have now molded the NHL equivalent of an NFL quarterback, this should not be seen as a negative thing, as it has led to some exciting hockey. I would really appreciate ya if you left a like on this video. Thank you so much to Raycon for sponsoring today's video. Please go check out my link down below to receive 25% off site-wide. And as always, thanks for watching.